and welcome to the Top Bins preview show for game week 10. We've got all of the Premier League action covered. I'm not too happy this week because Dave managed to get another one up on me. He's creeping. It's not one of those ones where he's going to just leap over me. He's just chipping away.
50% Dave strikes
50%
again.
50% Dave, and at the moment 40% Mike, because I'm having a shocker.
That's 2 in a row. We're looking for 4 in a row from Mike. Seems to be the most common thing in the Premier League now is just a bit of this action. So let's hope for that. But let's not spend too long dwelling on it, because honestly, 5 and 4 out of 10, no exact results.
Have a look at the results there.
Piss.
We have not done ourselves. My family will be very disappointed in me. I don't know if I can look at them.
International break, that's what I'm going to claim.
Rustiness.
Rusty.
Yeah.
Out of form.
Yeah, we'll be back on it this week. This is the one.
Yeah.
All right, let's get straight into the previews for this week. Some more cracking games. We love the Premier League, so let's start with the first game of the weekend on the fixture list anyway, and that's Brighton Wolves. Dave, what you got?
Tasty. I mean, you got Brighton at home playing pretty well. They've just picked up a good result, St James's.
But no Glenn Murray.
Without Glenn Murray. That's it. I mean, we'll just leave him at the home. He's popular there.
Yeah, he's got his roast dinner to eat anyway.
He'll get his lazy boy. They'll pop him in front of the telly.
Yeah.
Look, Glenn, there's your boys playing. It'll be lovely.
We're not.
Seriously though, love you, Glenn. Speedy recovery, mate. I have to transfer you out of my fantasy team. It's going to hurt. But Wolves, this is going to be a real test for them.
Well, they're going to be reeling.
They're
reeling from a 2-0
not
loss.
an easy game to come back from.
Not at all.
Lost at home and fairly well outplayed by Watford. Now they've got to go to Brighton, which is a tough place to play and pick up points. And I think that'll be hard for them, but at the same time, I think the loss of Glenn Murray will be an impact. I'm going to
give it to me, Dave. What you got?
2-1 Wolves.
2-1 Wolves.
I'm expecting Nuno's going to really light a fire under some asses, and we're going to see them come out and go for it.
I'm going to go very close as well. I think similar to Dave, but I think without Glenn Murray, I think they're going to struggle to score Brighton. I'm going to go 2-0 to Wolves. I think they've got enough quality to be able to put Brighton to the test. I think they'll be reeling. Nuno will get them fired up in training this week, and they'll come out with a bit of vim and vigour and put Brighton to bed and get the win. So 2-0. Dave's going 2-1. All right. Fulham Bournemouth, the most defensively naive team in the league against one of the most inconsistent teams in the league. This is going to be a very hard game to predict. I would not be surprised at any score. It could end up 5-0 to Fulham. It could end up 6-1 to Bournemouth. It could be a 7-7 draw. I would not be surprised at any of those results. It's just one of those games. It's a nightmare to pick for this one.
Feels like you have to pick Bournemouth, but every time it's felt like I've had to pick Bournemouth, like last week against Southampton, they've been shit.
Yeah. And
then you don't pick them, and they yo-yo back up again and play really well.
Yeah.
They're away in London at Craven Cottage, but Fulham defence is awful. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to have to sit on the fence and go draw purely because Bournemouth don't do enough for me to suggest that they're going to pull a win out. Who knows? Maybe they'll just sit middle of the round this week, and I'm going to go 2-2.
2-2, yeah. I can see there being goals in this one, Dave. I think Bournemouth will get the win here. I think Fulham, just because of their defensive problems, are going to struggle to keep Bournemouth at bay. Bournemouth won't be happy with that draw at home to Southampton, and their front three will be relishing the opportunity to play against a defence like this. I think Fulham have got goals in them. No, they've shown that week after week they've got goals in them. I think this is going to be quite high scoring. I'm going to go 3-2. 3-2 to Bournemouth. Yeah,
nice.
All right, your boys, mate. What's happening against the Bluebirds?
They're at home, so they're not going to lose. I mean, they just don't lose.
You're not going to lose to Cardiff either.
Well, I mean, Cardiff banged forward, and I say bang, they got a little lucky with some of it.
They were gifted 2 or 3 of them.
They were, but I was impressed with how they played at home. Then you rip out that crowd, which was so vocal.
True.
You replace that with the Anfield crowd, and it's going to be a job too far for them.
They've just not done well against big teams really this season, Cardiff. They seem to be
Arsenal at home.
I suppose they're doing all right.
But otherwise, you're right.
But even then, they conceded a lot of goals against Arsenal. I think that against teams like Liverpool and City, they're not looking to get the points out against them. They'll try and defend and try and keep compact. But I think even a poor Liverpool will have too much for them. And probably Mane back and a few others as well. I think With that in mind, I think Liverpool will get the win. I'm going to go 3-0.
Yeah, we're going to agree on this one. I think 3-0, although I keep calling big results for Liverpool, as do you, and we're getting ones and maybe twos.
Sort it out, Jurgen.
So, well,
have a word. Have a word, mate.
I think it's his big thing in his post-match lately has been that final pass, and he's right, and he can't make that final pass. So they're putting themselves in good positions, but just not finishing it off.
I bet he's probably quite good at football.
He's not bad. He was the defender, though.
I bet he can make a pass if he wants.
All right. Yeah, 3-0 both
3-0, easy.
Should be an easy game.
Be 4-0 Cardiff, wouldn't it?
Fuck off.
Southampton, Newcastle. The battle of the shit teams, this feels like. Two teams that are going to be desperate to beat each other, because if this ain't a 6-pointer to both of them, nothing in the Premier League is a 6-pointer. This is huge to both teams, and this is another one that's going to be really hard to call. I can see it being scrappy as anything. Both teams lack quality. Both teams lack goals as well. But both teams aren't the best at the back. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw in this one, Dave.
Damn it.
I'm going to go with 1-1. I think it's going to be... It could be 0-0 as well, but I'm going to take a punt and go with both teams getting a goal. I'm going to go 1-1.
I tossed the coin in my head over 1-1 or 0, and I've gone 1-1.
Yeah.
I don't want to agree with you because it makes it harder for me to
Maybe that's
up.
what I do. Maybe I just copy your results.
Well, that's right.
You can't ever catch me up.
That's true.
Maybe you go first every time.
I'll just change them in the post. It's fine. But look, no, 1-1. I think Newcastle will score first. Southampton will pull one back, and it'll be a dire, shitty game.
Yeah, it'll be horrible.
On a crappy Southampton night. No one will give a shit, and everyone will be angry, and there'll be fights in the city afterwards.
1-1. Watford Huddersfield. Doesn't inspire you when you think about it. It doesn't make you think of the joys of football. It make you think goals and skill and all the good stuff. But
this will be interesting. I mean, this is the test. We said in the review, can Watford use the result against the good Wolves team to spark?
And they should. At home to Huddersfield, you should think they'd get the points.
I'll say this though. Huddersfield played pretty well against Liverpool, especially to only lose 1-0.
Yeah,
I think they'll take some heart from that. They hit the post and they could have pinched the draw in that game.
Yeah.
And I think they'll take a lot from it. The problem with Huddersfield is not actually the back. They're not conceding stacks. They're just not scoring.
That's right. They're not. And you look through their team, and there's no real. Steve Mounier scored about 6 goals all his whole life.
And he's missed an absolute sitter against Liverpool as well. He should have tied the game. And for that reason, if not the way Watford played last week, just for the fact that Huddersfield won't score, I'm going to go 2-0 Watford.
I'm going to go 1-0 Watford. I think Watford will get the job done, but plucky Huddersfield. They'll put their bodies on the line. They'll defend. They'll sit deep. Proper shape. Nice and narrow. I don't think the Watford players will have much time on the ball. And I think because of that, Watford will win. Probably get a goal. Maybe from a set piece. They'll get a win on 1-0.
I like it. Yeah. Off to the King Power.
All right. This is a game that I think has got goals in it. Leicester against West Ham. This looks like it could be... It's got the potential to be a rip-roarer. I do like watching Leicester. I think that they're an entertaining team to watch. They get forward really, really well. They've got lots of good players in their team. I think that West Ham, I'm still not convinced by West Ham. I still think they've had a couple of good results, and that's through good fortune, probably more than skill and earning those wins. And so I think that Leicester are probably going to have too much. I think players like Vardy, even though he's not been that fluid this season, Maddison probably got too much for that West Ham defence, who shabby at best for me. I think that Yarmolenko being out is going to be a big blow for West Ham. So I think there's going to be goals in this game. I'm going to go 3-1 Leicester.
Yeah, I'll go 2-1 Leicester. I still think Leicester are struggling just to finish games off.
They are, yeah.
And
game management, that's called.
That's right, it's game management. That's the more you know.
Yeah.
And I think it could be 1-0 for 1-1 for long periods, and then Leicester in the last 10 sort of nick it.
Yeah.
Probably be the better team for the game.
Yeah.
But only just nick the result because of the lack of goals. And yeah, I just don't know where the build-up is going to come from for West Ham without Yarmolenko, and it doesn't look good. And Felipe Anderson for a couple of games looked like he was going to come on, but he's just gone back.
They look like they're lacking a bit of spark, bit of creativity from that midfield, and yeah, it does a job of blocking and defending and the simple stuff, but lacks that extra quality.
Mark Noble's not going to win your titles.
No, he's not,
Leicester 2-1.
All right, Turf Moor. Burnley, Chelsea. Probably only going to be one winner in this game, but
there can only be one winner.
I say, well,
can't have two winners in one game.
That's fair enough.
Actually. Yeah.
But I think Chelsea are likely to be the team that wins this game. But it's always these kind of games that you think it's going to be an upset.
This is interesting.
Is there going to be an upset?
You've got this thing in your voice now that's making me think you're going to give me a shock.
I am. I'm gonna go with Burnley getting a draw in this game. I think that look. I'll give you my reasoning behind this. I think that Chelsea do a very good job of taking apart teams that play on the front foot. Burnley are not going to play on the front foot in this game. But even though Burnley lost 5-0 to Man City, I think they've got enough defensively to withhold or stop Chelsea from doing too much. Hazard didn't look great in the last game. I'm not convinced by him. I think he looks a bit tired. He's been great all season, but he's just starting to look like he might be feeling the effects of all the games that he's played. And the other big thing is that Chelsea have not got a proper centre forward. And when I say a proper centre forward, I know Giroud and Morata are centre forwards, but they're not the type of centre forward that's going to rip a team apart and score 3 goals like an Aguero is going to do. No. And I think that's the reasoning why I think there's going to be a draw in this game. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say it's going to be
already on the limb.
Well, I'm on the limb. I'm going to get another one. I'm going to go 0-0.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's huge call.
Thanks.
I love it. The balls on this guy. Yeah. I'm going to completely disagree with you.
Thanks, mate.
So we can't agree on all the results this week.
Good.
And look, just no chance. I mean, Hazard didn't look good. Rudiger will do it by himself. He'll keep the clean sheet and he'll score another one. He scored a stunner. Could have had 2. Did well on the weekend defensively. It wasn't him that was causing errors at the back. It was bloody Sideshow Bob.
David Luiz.
Back to his old tricks at the weekend.
Yeah.
But look, there's no goal threat. So the 0 for Burnley seems fair, but I just don't see Chelsea accepting what happened last week.
Give it me, Dave.
It's not going to be huge. I'm only thinking 2-0 Chelsea.
All right. Oh, look, I'm putting it out there. I'm going with my gut on this one. I think that there's going to be an upset. Probably look horrendous next week when Chelsea have won 5-0. But
you get that, you're going to look like a bloody oracle, mate.
Look, mate, I gave you my reason. So there's logic behind the insanity, perhaps. But
he's got a fine football brain, this guy. I won't deny it. But
they call me the Teddy Sheringham of punditry, mate.
God, that's a backhanded compliment of best.
Palace against Arsenal, London derby. This one is not going to be an upset.
Thank you.
I think Arsenal are going to blow Palace away. They've got confidence running through their veins at the moment. Palace could not buy a goal right now. Arsenal, I think, are gonna put on a bit of a show. Going away to Palace might be tricky first 15, but I think that Arsenal got way too much. 2 strikers, banging form. Ozil loves games like Crystal Palace away. That's his meat and potatoes for him. I think this is going to be... I'm going to go 3-0 Arsenal.
I was going to go 3-0 as well, but I actually... look, I just think Crystal Palace are so bad at the moment.
Might be more.
And the way that Arsenal are playing, I think they're going to tear them a new one.
Yeah.
If you can score 3, granted at home against Leicester, technically 4 because they got the own goal. That's going to sway me for 4-0. I just can't see Palace getting anywhere near it. Hennessy can't do it by himself.
No.
And the teamwork, the team goals. We've talked about Wolves being a great team.
Yeah.
That has been more all across the park, but in the going forward sense, Arsenal just looks so fluid. Everybody's in the right place playing for each other. They could tear Crystal Palace apart and put Roy under some real pressure for a keeper's job.
Poor Roy. All right, United and Everton. This is a Premier League purist fixture, this one. A cracker. It looks good on paper if you love the Premier League. So United, Everton, it's a tough one, because United are actually not on bad form. And I know that they kind of got a weird result against Chelsea. No one really expected them to get a 2-2 draw at Chelsea. And they didn't really look like scoring much in that game throughout. But I think that United have got goals in them. That's what we've seen all season. They are scoring goals from different parts of their team. And I'm not convinced by Everton at the back, but I do think Everton going forward are a force, especially their midfield.
And your boy
and my boy Chick Dawson, and mainly Gylfi.
Didn't get the 50 likes. What a surprise.
What a surprise.
Hashtag Stevie's the greatest. Please continue.
Rotter. Next week we'll be doing another poll. I think that Everton have got enough to score against a United defence that still looks shaky, flaky, whatever other word rhymes with flaky and shaky. They don't look good. I can see this. Ooh, this is going to be a tough one to call.
The score's going to be tough.
I'm going to go 2-1 United.
Fair. It's at Trafford, so that's fair off the bat.
Yeah.
The other thing, I think you're right. I mean, United's defence, we talk about shuffling the deck of defences from managers, and Jose's not been opposed to that. I mean, Eric Bailey, however the hell you want to say his name, Bailly, for me is their best defender, and yet he makes one mistake and he's been
Lindelof gets the start.
torn. Lindelof has made like 10 mistakes this season already.
Woeful as well.
It's just awful. I just don't see, I don't understand. He wants more centre backs. He bought this guy and he's rubbish, so that's probably why you do. Bailly, for me, is a way better player.
Yeah.
And he won't start this week because they got the result against Chelsea, and that'll be another tick in Lindelof's box.
That's right.
But, and for that reason, I think Everton will score because he'll make a mistake and he'll gift a goal. And as much as he's not as good as Steven Gerrard, Gylfi doesn't need that many chances, and he'll get them because the United midfield still looks pretty disjointed.
Yeah.
And Gylfi will have a crack at that. He might cop an elbow in the face from old Fellaini, but he'll get back up. It's tough.
Give me a score, Dave. I'm waiting for it. I can't hear one. Sounds like you don't know. You're on the fence.
It's De Gea that's going to be the difference. I want to say 1-1, but I just feel like United will have enough chances at home to make it 2-1.
So we're both going 2-1 at Old Trafford.
I think. Like picking.
I mean, it's a tough one to pick. It could go either way. I think it'll be close, whatever way it goes. But I think it could go either way. I just think United at home probably will have enough to get over the line and get the win. But Everton are in good form as well. So don't rule them out. Like, it could easily be a draw. Everton could easily nick a win as well. But I just think United, from my perspective, will have enough to win this game.
I mean, I could get my dream result of 22 injuries 0-0. I mean, that would just be stunning. But
unbelievable. Spurs City, biggest game on the fixture sheet this week.
Last game of the weekend is a
Last
cracker.
game of the weekend. I don't think it will be that good a game in terms of competition. I think that Spurs have flattered to deceive this season. I think City are a league at least above Spurs in terms of quality, maybe two. And because of that, I can't see anything else than a I was going to say Spurs a bit. That would have been funny, wouldn't it? Done all that and I said, yeah, Spurs will win 2-0. See you later.
Subscribe.
I think City will win. I think City will win comfortably. I think they've got way too much quality in their team to not beat Spurs. I'm going to go 4-1 City.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, Spurs are at home, or home as it is right now. When City went to Anfield, what really surprised me was that they didn't really try and win the game. They parked the bus and they were happy with the draw. I think that was a tactic that they pulled out against Klopp out of the fact
respect.
That lost.
It was a respect for the attack.
Because they'd lost 3 of the 4 games last season against them. And I think that was a bit of respect. I do not expect Pep to give that kind of respect to Spurs at home. I think he'll go out there and try and win the game and win it comfortably.
Because he knows he can get goals against that defensive line. He knows that going forward they're lacking something this season. They're lacking a spark. And he won't be nearly as worried about their front four or 5 as he was about Liverpool's front 4 or 5.
That's right, and you talk about Chelsea lacking a centre forward. I feel for Kane because he hasn't got a guy that can play with him.
Nah.
And he's learnt this new role, especially with England, and looked very good, coming in a bit deeper to get the ball.
Yep.
And he's looked great. I mean, he
that's
looked
not
$1
him.
million against Spain, but it's not his game.
That's what Rooney did. Rooney
That's
did
right.
it, and it's when he started his career started going like that. It's not his game.
It's too early to see
a goal
Kane
scorer.
doing that. He's a goal scorer. He needs Ali to be doing that job behind him. He
yeah.
needs someone better
Eric
than
the
Eric
Apple.
Dyer
Yeah.
in his team to be helping behind that. I just don't see how Spurs, playing how they are, can contain City. But you've said 4-1. I think maybe at Spurs with Lloris in goal, who's prone to a mistake, but he's still a good keeper. I'll drop it back to 3-1. I think the 1 will be like a 92nd minute consolation.
Yeah. I think
Maybe the second cock goal of the season or something crazy like
Eric the Apple off his cock.
Oh, wouldn't that be
What a
stunning?
dream that would be.
You wouldn't have expected off one head this week. Maybe it'll be the second
thumbnail
head
for
this week.
next week's review's done if it does. Brilliant. All right, look, YouTube, you've had your fill of Premier League action this week from us. That's another preview done and dusted. And we reckon there's going to be goals, action, the lot for next week's review. So make sure you tune in. Don't forget to watch the review from last weekend's action. And don't forget to give this video a cheeky little like, cheeky subscribe. Head over to Facebook, facebook.com/TopKidsFantasy. We've loved it. You've loved it. See you later.